Hey, what is up guys, Marty here, back to do another video, and today I've got a couple games to showcase from the recent tournament. 2 games versus Futurama and 1 versus Dimitri. Now these are cherry pick games. I played these games. You can find all of them on my Twitch channel if you want to watch this series in its entirety with the original commentary. Then head over to my Twitch channel and you may find the VODs there. Nevertheless, I want to showcase some games where, you know me, I do really crazy strat, and I even take these strategies to tournaments. And in this game, I'm going to showcase the ultimate rig rush. This is the best possible rig rush, and I usually reserve it for tournaments. This is a very good rush, and my opponent is Black Hand in this game. But the map is Tournament LA, and while AP ammo takes a minute to research, you don't necessarily need it if you can get mutant marauders. And fortunately on this map, right next to your starting location, there's a mutant hovel. I'm going to grab that early on, build some mutants, put them in my MRTs, and that will allow me to better handle those Black Hand rocket squads and cabals with disciples on them. So I went for the Pitbull first. One thing I learnt in this tournament going Pitbull first, I may have known it in the past, but it faded from memory, but going Pitbull first means you can deal with the Raider Buggy. You can send your Pitbull back to base to force the Raider Buggy back, kill it if necessary, which is what I should have done here really. But I'm keeping his base scouted. I see he's going for the expansion. I myself doing the same thing. And the thing about the Pitbull is I can kill the buggy before that buggy can come back to my base to reveal what I'm doing. It does a lot of damage, that Pitbull. So I think Pitbull first is great just to anti-scout the nod from seeing a one base strategy such as this. I'm going for this engineer. I've built 4 harvesters, so this is a very low eco strategy. Mutant Hovel is now under my control. The mutants cost $600 per squad, so yeah, already a pretty exciting game. Remember that, guys, this is a tournament. There's $80 on the line in this tournament, and I am just doing these strategies because I know that they work. They are not meme strategies. A lot of people say, oh, these are Leaf memes. But I don't believe it to be the case. There are some legitimately strong strategies, and we know that Futurama is a very good player. He won that Winter Championship in 2019. Was it 2019? I can't remember. It was a long time ago, nevertheless. No, it's actually 2021 what we're talking about. Feels like an eternity since that happened. Trying to cut off this Red Buggy because I did sell my MCV. I'm obviously on 4 harvesters. I sold my Conyard for that extra $1,750 plus the engineer, which I'm going to V35 Ox to take my opponent's spike. Now I did make a small mistake. I did, unfortunately, summon in a V35 Ox for that Rifleman squad, which was a mistake. But the V35 Ox is coming in just to keep up to this spike. This is all it is going to be doing for me. I got that Conyard resources, and I'm going to also use the engineer given to me by that Conyard for denying my opponent that spike income. It's also going to give me $20 per second, which is a lot. I don't want to lose these mutant marauder squads. I was ready to evacuate that squad, but it was not necessary there. I'm not quite sure if the response from Futurama was 2 War Factories or Hand of Nod at this point. I could use the radar scan, but I'm confident with my 2 Wolverines and 2 MRTs that an infantry switch will not be a great idea from him. I have plentiful anti-infantry, and my rig is at full HP. Rigs have a ton of rocket armor resistance, so bikes and rocket squads will take a long time to DPS down this rig. I built an Orca, which of course my opponent doesn't know. Am I going Orcas? Am I going Titans? Am I going Hammerheads? There's all sorts of options available to me as Steel Talons. Plus these MRTs can repair the rig. I also can use the repair tool on the rig, but the MRTs can stack the repair with that repair tool. Rig taking damage, however, and these Scorpion tanks are going to get focused down very quickly. Laser turrets are starting to drop. I have been building Titans this whole while. There's 6 Titans slowly moving their way to Futurama's base. Those need to be here as soon as possible. I'm also queuing a Hammerhead from my airfield. That has a rally point set to my opponent. No infantry spam yet, but this, as long as this MRT is alive with the mutant marauders, I should be able to keep these infantry forces low in numbers long enough for my Titans to go in and crush. My aim here is to camp those barracks with the Titans while using the MRT to pick those squads off. So yeah, Titans great in this situation. They can shoot over those refineries as well and kill the bikes while crushing the infantry. Titans have very good rocket damage resistance too, so this is a great strategy overall. Hammerhead as well, just for some more cleaning up. That rig is just a great base of operations. It keeps this push alive. I have war factory repairs right on the front line, and it keeps my forces alive. That Titan would have died if not for that rig repair. Blue tip harvester in the middle. I'm going to be taking that out soon as well. I see it's going there. He does still have chances because I don't think he does actually, because I kept my tier 2. One thing I could have done for extra resources was sell that tier 2, but the fact that I kept it there meant I could have transitioned easily to AP ammo if infantry was ever a bigger threat. So yeah, that was a pretty good demonstration of the rig all in. And I want to go on quickly onto game number 2 and show you what that one's all about. Okay guys, game number 2, and I'm going to be sticking with the Steel Talons. This is Pipeline Problems. This is Futurama's favorite map. He picked this map actually immediately after the Tournament LA game. And this is a very unorthodox map, and I had an amazing strategy prepared for this map. I'm not going for the typical crane opening. I'm going instead for a refinery first. Why is that? Well, I know Futurama and players on this map have the tendency of going for cranes. It's very likely that your opponent will go for a crane. So I think rushing is a viable option, especially for GDI and Steel Talons, where they get access to the fast Orca patrol craft early on. Instead of taking that green tip, I'm going to put the refinery facing the blue type room. It's just better, even though the travel distance is a little bit more. The twice the yield on those blue tip crystals is well worth the extra distance. So this harvester will be taking a full load of blue type room, and I'm going to plop down this tier 2. I'm going to get the power plant upgrade as well. May as well, since I have a tier 2 now. The GDI power plants are expensive, so the upgrades are very good if you can purchase them. And with the resources gathered, I'll be able to easily get 4 orcas out quickly. One orca has been made, and the foreground I have will be easily able to finish the 4 orcas I need to harass him. 4 orcas undetected will be able to kill 3 harvesters, and if I can target the ones full of blue tiberium, that's going to be even better. In this patch, you can visually identify which harvesters have green tiberium and which ones have blue tiberium stored within. There's no guesswork there, but of course you can tell based on the fact that they're harvesting from a blue tiberium field anyways, just more of a visual feature. That was added in R21. Speaking of R21, I do have some awesome news regarding that, but I won't have time to talk about it in this video, because this video is non-stop action, and I really do think these games stand out. So the orcas are moving in, and sadly for me, Futurama was already ready for this. He's already got 2 bikes. A 3rd bike comes out, so yeah, he suspects something's up. He's got 3 harvesters, so he obviously did 3 refineries. And those harvesters of his did stack up there. Sadly for Futurama, those 2 do go down. But I was surprised he was actually ready there, so I don't know what was going on. But he was already prepared with bikes. Maybe he was going to harass my harvesters, and I would not have expected it. But that worked out for me nonetheless. I'm on 2 harvesters now. I have 3 orcas, and Futurama has built now his 3rd. So we're pretty much even, I would say. But I do have that airfield, which is a great asset. And rather going in blind with these orcas, I'm going to implement a technique which I highly encourage you guys to utilize as well. And that is to summon in a V35 Ox to reveal the area before sending in your expensive, valuable orcas in, or hammerheads for that matter. So the V35 Ox is just to reveal where the bikes are situated. It gives me the options. I can go in areas where there are no defenses, and I see Futurama is unable to go out on this map. It would be wise of him to send out a raider buggy to detect where my orcas are, but He does not know where they are currently, and I see he has not yet dropped an expansion ref. And those orcas of mine are just waiting for the ideal time to strike. I split one orca off to maybe target one of the bikes. But yeah, Futurama at this point does certainly know where those are. And since he's consolidated his forces around that blue type field, I'm going to split the orcas off. I'm going to split them off, and I'm going to send 2 to the left and 2 to the right. That orca strike that I summoned in, by the way, damaged his harvesters severely at the refinery. That's a really good use of the orca strike. A lot of players like using them on power plants, but you should always, if you can, use it at the refinery entrance, because you never know, you might be able to kill the harvesters with a follow-up move like bikes or orcas, and that's exactly what happened there. And from this point on, I do have a substantial lead in income. I got 4 harvesters on this green Tiberium field, an additional 3 on my blue field, plus I'm going to drop another refinery, so I did not even need those harvesters, to be fair, to go down, but that was a killer blow. And Futurama, he's in dire straits currently because he has to deal with steel talons, and I'm going to research APM and spam wolverines, which kill everything pretty much. Even scorpion tanks with dozer blades can struggle to defend against that DPS. Really, you need the purifiers, you need the blue flame to deal with those wolverines. So yeah, the bikes are coming in, and upon seeing this, Futurama knows the writing is on the wall. Those orcas are out once again, and he just throws it in. So that's GG. That is game number 2, and I want to showcase one final game from this tournament against Dimitri, which I thought was pretty action-packed. So let's go on to that. But before we leave, let's just take a quick look at this ecograph. If I go to it, I'm not sure if I will, because this time I am casting obviously over these games in post. But yeah, guys, let's go on to game number 3. Okay, this is the final game, and this was played in a different round. I'm versus Dimitri this time. This is going to be a Reaper 17 mirror on a very classic EA map. Very flat, very open. It made way for many of the map designs that followed afterwards. It was a successful formula for a Kane's Wrath map, just because pathing isn't so bad on it. There's not much obstacles, so units do path pretty well on this map. You do still have to watch for the occasional reverse move bug, but that can be amended if you give the units a quick extra reverse move command. But yeah, overall in R21, you're not going to find too many bugs happening. The bugs involving engineers being sniped around spikes or any structure has been fixed. Harvest is no longer bug at all, and a plethora of other things are fixed. You can find the full change list in the video description. You may find links to the Google Drive document, and of course links to download R21 if you are interested in it. It is the most played community patch, and I am the one behind the changes and the fixes these days. I strive to improve it as much as I can. I am working currently on a fix for shielded seekers and packs, removing the glitching effect on the shields and making the stealth units fade in and out properly when they are detecting with the stealth detector. There's a problem with the stealth detection code and the fade in opacity stuff, which I did address. I may have put over this video demonstration of that. If not, then I will showcase it in the future. Nevertheless, I see Dimi is Reaper 17 in this game. 4th Harvester comes out for me. I'm going to just work on 5 or 6. I'm going to do my patented one base strategy with Reaper 17 and Scrin. You guys know what it is by now. It's 2 dev tanks, it's a bunch of corruptors, and it's a ton of Ravager squads. The Ravagers are to kill my opponent's dev tanks with the tip agitation ability. My dev tanks are there to finish off his dev tanks and to kill the Shardwalkers. And with easy access to green Tiberium to recharge my dev tanks, I'm going to be able to deal with those Shardwalkers very promptly. In this game, instead of just relying on those 2 soul dev tanks for the DPS to kill him, I'm going to treat it as an all-in, because in essence it is. Not like in that first game where I sold my MCV, but this time I'm going to move my drone platform towards my opponent. So I can place photon cannons, so I can put down base defenses, which are going to be necessary. There's one counter to my dev tanks, which he also has access to, and that is the Ravager squads. Let's not forget, it's a mirror. Both of us have the same tools, the same units, and the same everything. So here comes the Ravagers. I've got the dev tank out. The Shardwalker was just to anti-scout a buzzer, but he did not build a Shardwalker. I feel like his scouting here was a little bit too late, but here comes the second dev tank. This strategy of mine has been very effective up until now, especially versus Scrin. Against River 17, it's a little bit tougher because the Shardwalkers have a bit more DPS against the infantry, but the drone platform is moving forward. A second Warp Sphere comes down for me, and the dev tank of mine is not yet in that tip field to do major damage. I identified that was a mistake selling that tier 2 because that barracks, because I really need to queue a photon cannon at round about now. The more photon cannons I can get down, the better, because he's also going to be planning to do the same thing. And if at all necessary, I can seal my drone platform off for the funds necessary to summon in a stasis shield. But at this current time, I don't have funds difficulty, but my tip field is rapidly depleting in Tiburon. I've got 2 dev tanks. And the micro is going to be really key here for this push to be successful. You can see Dimmy's already got 3 dev tanks. It's 2 dev tanks versus 3 dev tanks, but the heals man on these dev tanks, they are crucial to success. The tip agitation comes down on those dev tanks. I'm going to combat that really quickly with my dev tank and finish off one of his, and the 2 of mine are still alive. I'm going to split off my corruptor there to finish that Buzzer Swarm support power off. So micro really is the name of the game when it comes to this push. This is like a dev core, but on more eco. Uncharged dev tanks versus charged dev tanks as well. That's a major red flag for the uncharged dev tanks. They are just not effective at all. The tip agitation comes down, but because I'm receiving heals, it's not going to be quite enough. Dev tanks can die in one shot to Ravager's tip agitation, but that requires the dev tank to take side or rear armor. The dev tank has 3,200 health. The tip agitation from 3 squad members does 3,000 damage, so you barely can survive it as long as you're taking front damage. And I'm using my Ravagers also to kill his Ravagers, and I've got these Corruptors out in force still, but the game is not over, not by a long stretch, because there are lots of Ravagers out for him, and I'm placing these Butter Hives down to try and kill those Ravager squads, because I don't want them to be approaching my dev tank. I did just lose 1 more dev, so I now still have a dev tank deficit, but I'm not letting him charge from that Tiburon field, and have one of my Corruptors falls to the Ravager squads. And I feel like Scrim Mirrors now are more entertaining than ever before. For me, I was watching this back several times and I thought, wow, this is the sort of gameplay I want to see more often in Scrim Mirrors. Not just mecha v mecha like it was many years ago. Having infantry as a viable unit in Mirrors is a very positive thing indeed. And I like this as much as I like Jedi Mirrors. Another Ravager squad comes in, kills the dev tank. That time it was exposing the side armor, but I'm planting down these Buzzer Hides, which is going to make micros really difficult, especially since those aren't upgraded with advanced articulators, nor can Reaper 17 get that. Imagine if they could though, that'd be pretty insane. And these dev tanks are moving in. I've got now 3 charged dev tanks. Dimmy has no way to hold these off unless he has a bunch of Ravagers hidden somewhere, but I doubt it. He's still harvesting Tiburon. He's had so much more Tiburon compared to me, but the charge on these dev tanks is everything, man. The DPS and the rate of fire is increased with the charge on those devs, and that is going to be it. So that was a pretty awesome game, I feel, on Tournament Arena, and those are the 3 games I thought were pretty awesome that I played on the weekend. And yeah, I do my unorthodox strategies even in tournaments, and it works out really well for me. They are very viable strategies, so you can try them yourselves. They're effective, I would imagine, but you need micro, like in that last game, to execute that one. So it's not for the faint-hearted. Anyways, guys, thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll try and bring you all more content. I have a bunch of content on my drive. I had to delete a lot of old footage because I have so much content currently on it, but I need to cherry pick and select what I want. I want to make specific videos, not just post anything on there. But yeah, guys, and before I leave, I'd like to give a big thank you to my Patreon members for continuing to support me, my channel, the patch. Without you guys, we would not be in this situation where we have all these bug fixes in the game in this state today, so I would like to say a big thank you to you all for continuing your support, and I have many great things planned and in the works right now, so stay tuned for that. Anyways, I will see you all guys in the next video. This is me, Master Leaf. Peace out.